So I want you to make sure that when we're solving for unknown angles now, we're doing the exact same thing as if we were solving an equation. The only difference now is whatever value of x or whatever variable we use, that result, we have to plug it back into the expression to actually find the missing angle. I'm going to show you what I mean by the first example right here. So, first example, we're dealing with supplementary angles. You need to remember what supplementary angles are. They are two angles that add to make 180. So, it would be easier if you label this being angle 1 and this being angle 2. Because the rule of thumb is angle 1 plus angle 2 is supposed to equal to 180 degrees. So I'm just going to replace these numbers with what each of the parts are. So piece number 1 was x, plus piece number 2 was 38. So to solve this problem, it's literally a one-step equation. So we're going to do the opposite of adding 38 because there's nothing to combine. So I'm going to do the inverse of addition, which is subtraction. So when I subtract 38 to both sides, you're left with x is equal to 180 minus 38, which is 142. Now, we won't know if this is a angle yet until you plug it back in. Now, fortunately, this just goes into x. So this angle actually is 142 degrees. Sometimes it's just straightforward. Other times, you actually have to take this value and replace the letter with the number we just found. I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to do a little trickier one. So when I'm looking at this problem, this is still supplementary, meaning this angle plus this angle has to equal to 180. So this angle 1 plus angle 2 needs to equal to 180. So you have, and I'm going to use parentheses so you know that each piece goes with its own part. Angle 1 is 2x minus 6. This plus sign needs to still come down. And then I'm going to write out the other one. X plus 1. And again, still equal to 180. So this is one of those where we're going to have to follow the steps for equations. Step 1, combine like terms. Well, I can combine 2x and this is x because they both are x's. So remember, if there is not a number in front of the variable, it is an automatic 1. So it's not 2 plus 0x, it's 2 plus 1. In this case, 3x. Then I'm going to combine negative 6 plus 1. Negative 6 plus 1 gives us negative 5. Now this looks like a two-step equation, and we can solve it. So let's do the inverse of subtraction now, because in this case, we're minusing 5. But the opposite of that is adding 5. So let's add 5 to both sides. You get, go over here real quick. We're going to do 3x is equal to 185. Okay. Last step we need to do is, this is 3 times x. So you need to do the opposite of multiply. In this case, we're going to divide. Now, it is okay if some of our values of x are decimals. This is going to be one of them where we're going to get a decimal. So, use your calculator and find the value of x. So, if we use a calculator, we should get 180 to 85 divided by 3. And then we're going to round this off. We'll round this off. So we'll do 61.7. Because this is going to be a repeated decimal. It was going to be 61.66666. And it's okay to round it if given that option. So the value of x is 61.7. But that's not the measure, the angle measure. You would have to go back in and plug in 61 here and here to actually get the angles here and here. Okay, so you may pause so you can read the work I just did for that last problem before we move on.